Hello and welcome everyone. In this session, we will continue with the lesson that we are discussing the agriculture of class 10 that we follow in CBSE. So today we will start with the part that is cropping seasons that we find in India. So there are three distinct cropping seasons we find in India. So the first one is the Rabi crop season. So the Rabi crop season is done in the winter months. That in India, when winter prevails at that time, this Rabi crop is done. So it is started sowing of seed and cultivating of seed. These all things are started in the October to December. And during this months only, the sowing of seeds and cultivation starts in different parts of India wherever it is done. And harvesting, that is cutting of the seed or cutting of the plants, it is done in April to June. So from April to June, this cutting of the seed, this all things are done. So this type of crop, it is done in the areas where there is less rainfall, because it needs very less amount of rainfall, like Western Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, then some parts of Rajasthan also. So in these all areas, this type of crop is done. And the main important crop that is grown here is wheat, barley, peas, etc. So the main important crop is wheat. So this type of crop in Green Revolution, this type of crop was mainly grown. This Green Revolution is mostly dominated by wheat only, because in those areas it was first started with wheat, and with the introduction of improved technologies and agricultural development, irrigation system, huge amount of cultivation is done of wheat, like in the areas of Western Uttar Pradesh, then some parts of Gujarat, then Punjab, then some parts of Rajasthan also. Huge amount of cultivation is done of wheat cultivation. Next type of or next cropping season that we find in India is Kharif crop season. So it is in the mainly done in the time of summer monsoon, what we say about summer monsoon. So the harvesting and sowing of seed, the sowing of seed or planting of the newly uprooted plants, these all are started in from June to August. In during this period only, the planting of sowing of seed or planting of newly uprooted saplings are done in this portion only. Then in September to October, when winter starts, during this time, this harvesting is work done, that is cutting off the plants and doing the other processes. So this type of agriculture is done mostly in the areas where there is abundance rainfall. In the summer season, there is abundance of rainfall, and this type of crops need more rainfall. That is why it is done in those areas where there is more rainfall. The types of crop, that is paddy, maize, jawar, etc. Paddy is the most important crop that is grown here, and we know about paddy, that paddy is a crop which grows well in the areas where there is huge amount of rainfall. So this type of crop is started when there is more rainfall, that is during the time of monsoon. So the third type of crop that we find cropping season, that is Jaid cropping season. It is a small or short period of time between Rabi crop and Kharif crop. There is a small or short period of time between these two seasons. During this season only, different kind of vegetables are cultivated. So it is between summer and winter, a small season, that is between October to March. From October to March, that is the time when the summer season ends and before the winter starts. Between this time only, the cultivation of this vegetables, or you can say some fruits also, like watermelon, muskmelon, these all are done in this period, that is called the Jaid period. So this type of cultivation is done everywhere in the country. It is not dominated of any rainfall or something like that. But this Rabi Kharif crop is mostly dominated or mostly cultivated in those areas like Assam, Odisha, West Bengal, then some the coastal regions. In those areas, these Kharif crops are cultivated, and the paddy, the most important crop in the Kharif crop is paddy or rice. There are three different kind of rice that is done in West Bengal and Odisha. This is called as Aus, Aman and Boro. So this was about the cropping seasons of India. Next let us discuss about some major crops that are grown in India. So from the perspective of studies or exam, three things are very important. First is what is the position of our country in growing a particular crop. What is our position? Next is what is the climatic condition that is needed to grow that particular crop, and in which part of India this particular crop is grown. So these are the three things that we need in every crop to know, so that from the exam perspective. So to write about the growing condition of rice, these three things are important. So first we will discuss about rice. That is, rice is India is the second largest producer of rice, that is after China. So rice is the majority of the country in India eats rice only, that is the staple food it is called. So the main food of majority of the people in India is rice only. So its growing condition, this we have discussed about its position, then its growing condition. In growing condition, that it needs a very high temperature, that is above 25 degrees Celsius throughout the year there should be. Then only good rice can be cultivated in those areas. Then rainfall, it needs a very high rainfall of annual rainfall of 100 centimeter. 100 centimeter of rainfall, if it prevails in a particular area, then only that area can be good for cultivation of rice. So these two main conditions, first I told you position of India, second climatic condition, then where in India this rice is cultivated. Now if you look at the map, here we can see these are the areas which cultivate rice, and its main crop is rice only. It produces huge amount of rice. Apart from this, a little amount of rice are produced in these areas also. So in our previous lessons also I told you, to understand geography better, you should know your map of your country. That is, if it is India, then you should know the map of India and all the states. You should know its position and the name of the state. Then you can understand geography better. So here major rice growing regions, the regions where most amount of rice grows, it is here. There is Bihar, then West Bengal, Odisha, then the coastal regions. Here the some amount of coastal region, not the whole state, but the coastal areas. This side also the coastal areas, it grows huge amount of rice. And here the Brahmaputra valley, that is the northern part of Assam. So here also rice is grown. The major rice growing area, these areas are. Apart from this, some amount of rice with the help of irrigation is also cultivated in other parts, that is like western Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, then some parts of Maharashtra also. In those areas also some amount of rice is grown with the help of artificial irrigation. So next major type of crop that is grown in India is wheat. So let us discuss about wheat. So wheat is the second staple crop that is eaten in India after rice. Rice is the most important, then after that wheat. So the growing condition for wheat is, India has no position in the world in growing of wheat. That is why we are not discussing about the position. Next, in the growing condition, it needs a cool growing season. That is, the temperature should not be very high during the winter season only. Throughout the year it should be the temperature should be very low throughout the growing season. Then bright sunshine, it needs good amount of sunshine for the well or good growth of wheat, and it don't need much amount of rainfall. So if there is more rainfall, then it is bad for growing wheat, as it is opposite to that of rice. It needs a huge amount of rainfall, but in wheat it don't need much amount of rainfall only for about 50 to 75 degrees centimeter. That is also not at a time. There is little after some days, again after some days, little amount of rainfall it is needed. Then only wheat grows very well. Then the area where it is grown. So there are two major regions in India where wheat is grown. So first is the Ganga Satluj region, the area where Ganga river is there and Satluj river is there. In that region, huge amount of wheat is grown. So it is here, it is Ganga and Satluj river somewhere here in this area. This region is one region. Next is the black soil region of Deccan. So the Deccan Plateau, we know this area is from here up till this portion is known as the Deccan Plateau. So in this, the whole Deccan Plateau is made up of black soil. So this black soil area is also used for growing wheat. So in this region, this is the second region where wheat is grown. So apart from this, if we see the major wheat growing states, so in this region there is Punjab, then Haryana, then Uttar Pradesh, then Bihar, then some parts of Odisha also, then Madhya Pradesh. These all regions, here it is major wheat growing region. It grows wheat in huge amount. So these are the region where huge amount of wheat is grown. So next important crops, that is millets. So in millets there are three different crops that includes, it is coarse grain it is called. So first one is jowar. First one of this millet is jowar. Jowar is the most important crop or third important crop after this rice and wheat, that is in terms of production area. So a huge area, in a very huge area this jowar is produced. So the growing condition is moist area without irrigation. It is well grown in the area which is moist, little bit more amount of rainfall, but no irrigation is needed, because extra irrigation is farmers, they don't want to put extra irrigation for growing jowar. So this is the first condition, is that it needs moist area without irrigation. Then in India where it is grown, so this in this area most amount of jowar is produced. That Maharashtra is the highest producer. Apart from there, some part of Madhya Pradesh also, then Karnataka, then Andhra Pradesh also. Some parts of Andhra Pradesh also produce huge amount of jowar. Second important that is millet is Bajra. So Bajra here it is grown. The growing condition for Bajra is it needs sandy soil and shallow black soil. It in both sandy soil and shallow black soil, in both conditions it grow well. In India where it is grown, this Bajra is grown in this region of India. It states the Rajasthan is the, because it needs sandy soil, so Rajasthan has a huge area of sandy soil. So here in Rajasthan it is grown well. Highest producer is Rajasthan. Apart from this, some parts of Maharashtra also, Gujarat also, Uttar Pradesh, then Haryana also. In this whole, all the states, Bajra is grown well and in abundance. So next important millet that is grown in India is ragi. So its growing condition is it needs a dry season, not huge amount of rainfall, but a dry season. Then type of soil it is needed is red soil or black soil or sandy soil or loamy soil or shallow black soil. In all these soils ragi grows well. So in India different areas where it is grown. So highest producer is Karnataka, then Tamil Nadu. These two states it produce a huge amount. This is the region where it is grown in huge quantity. Apart from this, there are other the hilly states like Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand. These two states here, then Sikkim, then Arunachal Pradesh, then Jharkhand also. These all states also grow some amount of ragi. So next important crop that is grown in India is maize. The maize is a kharif crop season. Mainly in the kharif crop, kharif season maize is grown in major parts of India. So it needs huge amount of rainfall. The same conditions we have already discussed. So the temperature that is needed, the climatic condition temperature that is needed is between 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. Between this temperature only maize grows well. And alluvial soil, it needs old alluvial soil. In our previous lesson we have discussed about new alluvium and old alluvium and how alluvial soil is produced and where it is found in the river valleys. So in the old alluvial soil, maize grows well, very good in condition. So the major maize growing regions of India, so it is Karnataka, then Andhra Pradesh. Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh, these are the two states which produce maize in huge quantity. Apart from this, the Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh and Bihar, these states also produce maize in huge quantity. Then Bihar, in Rabi season also maize is produced. Such important maize is in that state that in Rabi season also maize is produced in Bihar. Next important crop that is grown in India that we'll discuss is pulses. So pulses are very important food crop that is used by people, because it is the most important protein giving food mainly for people who are vegetarians, who don't eat meat, fish. For them it is very important to give protein. So different kind of pulses, there are not one pulses, but there are many pulses that is included. So first one is tur, then urad, moong, then masoor, peas and gram. These are the important pulses that we find growing in India. So the type of climatic condition that we need to grow is less moisture, less rainfall. So it don't need much rainfall, because this type of crops grow well in the areas where there is less rainfall. So less moisture, then also in dry condition also it can survive. If it is moisture is less also, if artificial irrigation is provided, then also this type of crop can survive very well, or it can grow very well. Then next is this pulses are leguminous plant. Now what is leguminous plant? Leguminous plants are those plants which provide nitrogen fixation in the soil. Where there is soil, on the soil, if it is grown, then its roots provide nitrogen fixation of the soil. Then as a result, when it provide nitrogen fixation, the fertility of the soil becomes more, it increases. So mainly pulses are grown in rotation of crop, like in the areas where wheat is grown. After cultivating wheat, after harvesting wheat, they used to cultivate leguminous plant like pulses, some kind of pulses in that particular soil. Then the fertility of the soil again increased. Next again, when wheat is cultivated, it is more fertility, more production will be done. Similarly, the area where rice is cultivated also, after cutting the rice cultivation, again any kind of pulse is grown, then its fertility increase. So because it is leguminous, so in crop rotation, in many parts where the other crops are also done in crop rotation, these pulses are in between, it is done. Next, where it is grown in India, mainly pulses are grown in many parts of India. It is mainly Karnataka, then Maharashtra, then Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan. So in these states mainly pulses are grown. So let us move on to some other crops which are not grains. So far as rice, wheat, these are grains. But other than that, there are other crops which are not grains that grown in India. So first one is sugarcane. Sugarcane is very important crop that we know that is used for cultivation. So the growing condition of sugarcane is hot, humid climate. It is tropical crop also and subtropical crop also. Where it is very hot, in those regions also it is good for cultivation. Where it is moderate temperature, there also it is good for cultivation. So temperature needed is 21 degrees Celsius to 27 degrees Celsius. It is comparatively a bit hotter region. Then rainfall needed is 75 centimeter to 100 centimeter. It is also a good amount of rainfall it needs. So India is the rainfall needed is 75 centimeter to 100 centimeter. And India is the second largest producer of sugarcane, that is after Brazil. Brazil is the highest producer, it is very well known fact. So sugarcane is used for producing mainly sugar, then gur we know, then khandesiri. These three things are very important that we can produce from sugarcane. Apart from this, sugarcane juice also can be drunk. It is very good for health also. So the main states where sugarcane is grown, so in different kind of soil sugarcane can be grown. It is not limited that in a particular kind of soil only sugarcane is grown. It is not like that. In different kind of soil sugarcane can be grown. So mainly here in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu in the south, then Maharashtra, then Punjab, Haryana, then Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. These are the states where huge amount of sugarcane is grown. Next, let us move to the other crop, that is oilseed. So these oilseeds are very important type of crop that is grown in India, because oil, that is edible oil, is used for different purpose that we use. So the important oilseeds are groundnut, mustard, coconut, sesame, then soybean. These are very important. Apart from this, there are others also like soybean and all, sunflower and all. So these are the important oilseeds that is grown in India. So these are the important oilseeds that are grown in India. So India is the first producer or the top producer of oilseeds, different kind of oilseeds. It is used for edible oil also, or making different creams and all that cosmetics that we use, or soaps. These all all these things. These oil seeds are used, or oil that comes out from it. Now first we see groundnut. Groundnut is the most important oil seed that is from among all the oil seeds. So groundnut is produced in mainly Andhra Pradesh. Then apart from this, Tamil Nadu also, Karnataka also, then Maharashtra and Gujarat. These are the important states where groundnut is produced. Apart from that, other oil seeds are grown in different parts of India, and it is equally distributed everywhere. Next crop that we will study is tea. It is the most important plantation crop. Plantation crop, already we have discussed what is plantation crop. So tea is the most important plantation crop that is grown in India. So the cultivation of tea was first started by the Britishers in India. So at that time, the most of the owners of the tea gardens were Britishers. But at present, most of the owners of the tea gardens are Indians. So Indians have overcome the Britishers in this field also. So this tea is a very type of crop which is grown mainly in the tropical and subtropical region, where there is good type of soil, a soil which has good humus. But the most important thing for growing tea is slopy land, that is where water don't stay, because tea cannot bear stagnant water. If there is water stay for 1-2 days or more than 2-3 days, then the tea plants die very easily. So the climatic condition for growing of tea is warm and moist, frost free climate. That is the temperature should be also high, and some amount of rainfall throughout the year. After a certain interval throughout the year, there should be a minimum amount of rainfall, so that new tender leaves always come, and in the tender leaves is the benefit for the tea producers. But it should be frost free, that is in the area where there is snowfall throughout the year, or any part of the year there is snowfall, in those regions tea cannot be grown, because of the snowfall it may die, the plants may die. So it needs a huge labor, both skilled and unskilled. So tea industry always need huge labor. So in the past, when the Britishers first started tea gardens in the northeastern states, they had brought laborers from Jharkhand and Odisha, and from those places they have brought laborers, because they need huge amount of labor. Then the production of this tea is always done, that is in factory and all, is always inside the tea estate only, so that the from the tea garden, when tea is plucked up till the factory, it reach very quick, so that the freshness of the tea remain. If the tea leaves after plucking remains for 2-3 days or very long, then its freshness goes. So India is the largest producer of tea. Up till now, India is the largest producer of tea in the whole world. So apart from this, the most important states producing tea is Assam, then Darjeeling, then Sikkim, Kerala and Kerala and Tamil Nadu. These are the states which are the major producers of tea. Apart from this, other states like Andhra Pradesh, then Uttarakhand, these Himachal Pradesh, they also produce some amount of tea. Coffee. Coffee is the next important plantation crop that is grown in India after tea. So India's coffee is well known in the whole world for its good quality, because India's quality of the coffee that is produced in India is the best one. So in India, the Arabica variety is produced. It is a one quality of one type of coffee that is found in different parts of the world. So in India, Arabica variety is produced. First, this variety was brought from Yemen to India and it was started to be produced. So the first coffee production was started in Baba Budhan Hills. So from there, still today in the South India only, production of coffee is still very isolated. In other parts of India, if it is done also, but not very popular or not very professionally. Mostly coffee is produced in Karnataka, Nilgiri Hills of Karnataka, then Kerala and Tamil Nadu. In this portion only, most of the coffee production is done in India. Now let us discuss about the next topic, that is horticulture. Horticulture means cultivation of fruits and vegetables. So different kinds of fruits and vegetables are cultivated in India. First let us discuss about fruits. The important fruits that are grown in India. First one is mango. So the symbol for mango, I am using this. Here mango is produced in Maharashtra, then Andhra Pradesh, then Uttar Pradesh and some parts of West Bengal. So in this area, huge amount of mangoes are produced. Next, oranges. Oranges are found in India. Oranges are found in this Cherrapunji and some parts of Maharashtra, that is called Nagpur in Maharashtra. Then next is banana. Banana are hugely large amount of bananas are found in Tamil Nadu and Kerala. Here Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Mizoram. So here banana, these three states are very popular. Next is pineapple. India is very rich in pineapple. This Meghalaya is very rich in pineapple, growing of pineapple. Next, grapes. Grapes are mostly found in Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. In these two states only huge amount of grapes are found. Next, lychee and guava. I left this one. Lychee and guava. This is found in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh. Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, this lychee and guava are found. Next, apple, pear, etc. This type of vegetables, apple, pear, this type of fruits are very well known in the whole world. That comes from Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh. So these all areas in different parts of India, different kinds of fruits are cultivated, and these fruits, apart from this, there are many other fruits which is cultivated, but these fruits which are grown in India are very well known to the world. It is very popular in the world and it is exported to different parts of the world. So apart from these fruits, India also produce a huge amount of vegetables. That is about 13% of world's vegetable is produced in India. So among them, brinjal, potato, cauliflower, there are some kind of vegetables which are very abundantly produced in India, and India's variety of these vegetables are very popular in the world. So next let us move to the non-food crops. So far we have discussed about food crops, the eatables. Other than that, also there are many cultivation that is done, but it is not eatable. It is used in industry and all. So here rubber is the first non-food crop. It is very good for, or very usable commodity for industrial development, for industrial use. So its climatic condition is that rainfall, it needs rainfall above 200 centimeter of rainfall or above. And temperature, it needs 25 degrees Celsius throughout the year. So it grows well in those areas where temperature is also more and rainfall is also very high. Next, India is the 5th largest country in the world to produce natural rubber. Nowadays, rubbers are also produced artificially. So Here it is not said about that artificial rubber, but about natural rubber producers of the world. Among India is the 5th largest. So in India, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, these are the 3 main states which produce rubber. Apart from that, Andaman and Nicobar and some parts of Meghalaya also produce some amount of rubber. Let us move to the next topic, that is fiber crop. Fiber crops are those which is obtained from fiber and used for making different clothes or other materials. So the important fibers are cotton, then jute, then hemp and silk. And the most important thing is that rearing of silkworm for getting silk to make clothes and all, this is known as sericulture. It is an important point to be mentioned there. So first let us talk about cotton. Cotton is known as the fiber crop, important fiber crop, and it is very important for producing clothes. So in India, cotton is the India is the 3rd largest producer of cotton in the whole world. Then it needs black soil to grow. Whole of the Deccan Plateau, that is the southern part of India, whole is covered with black soil. We know, we have discussed it before. So it is very good for growing cotton. Black soil is good for growing cotton. Then it needs very high temperature, then but less rainfall. Temperature should be high, rainfall should be less. Then from growing up till maturity, it needs around 210 frost free days, and it is a kharif crop. That is important to be mentioned. Then next, jute. Jute is mainly grown in the floodplains or the alluvial soil, where it is where the soil is well drained, where it is a good relation, there is no water stay for very long. Then high temperature, here high rainfall also needed, then high temperature also needed, and alluvial soil is needed for growing of cotton. Now for both this cotton and jute, I have used this symbol here. So first let us see about jute. Jute is grown in the areas of West Bengal, then Orissa, then some parts of Bihar and Assam. Only jute is grown here, Assam and Meghalaya. Then rest in almost the whole country, cotton is grown, because the Deccan Plateau is very rich in black soil. So here Gujarat, Maharashtra, then Tamil Nadu, then Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, then Uttar Pradesh, all these areas huge abundantly produce cotton in the whole world.